As I said, I'm really fascinated by indigenous cultures for my own reasons, but also just for the reasons that I explained. I think there's a lot of beauty and a lot of history that they hold for us in some ways that sometimes we don't think about. Although we stand on their shoulders, basically. A lot of the things that we use today, whether it's pharmaceuticals or other things in that way, a lot of these cultures were using or doing some of those things before, in that sense. And so for me, this piece is more about this piece is called Seen Unseen. And so it's more about just how we kind of just take for granted sometimes individuals that are native or just from other cultures in that sense. And we take for granted the gifts or other things that they have left behind for us in that way. Or, for example, the things that are going on right now, how people are fighting for the rights of water or the right to survive in some ways, And so, to me, those things are very beautiful, and it's more of an homage to them in some ways, the piece. And also, it's also kind of, it becomes by default, for me, it becomes a little sad in some ways because it also becomes kind of a marker in some ways of the disappearance of these cultures. And so the butterflies are a representation for me that is of change and of time and place in that sense. Butterflies go through these journeys and, they start out in one way and wind up going through a process and coming out in another way. And so that's how I feel where I am. I feel like my grandmother was her own butterfly. I am my own person in that sense, and I'm unfolding my wings in that way, and she did hers, and that's how I feel like these cultures are now. A lot of people are descendants from these cultures in that sense, and they are still thriving. They may not be as connected to them in that way anymore, like I am in that sense, but it's still valuable to kind of understand that not only migration, but also ideas and everything in that way has always just been there's always been a human quality to it in the sense of wanting to, survive, but also just wanting to expand on, your ideas and your belief systems and things like that. I think that for native cultures, though, it usually revolved more around natural elements, and I think we've kind of removed ourselves from nature quite a bit in that way. And for me, this is kind of a reminder that these are people that are still connected to that, and I'm connected to them, and so therefore I'm still connected to nature, and so it kind of just goes back to that.
Is it okay if people
Oh yeah,
move
please.
up and down?
So, they're shutters, so you just move them from behind here, or you can move them from above here. And, they'll typically stay up, but then they'll surprise you and they'll just come down. And that's part of the beauty for me, is that, that things just move and shift. And sometimes you see something, and you can see parts of it, and sometimes you can't see any of it, and sometimes you see the whole. And I'm hoping, to give, like I said, pay respect in that way, but also to show and talk about the disappearance of these